Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to another KPC Weekend Live. Today we have a lot of news ready for you from K-pop to K-culture and what's going on in Korea. It is 12:15 p.m. in Seoul, South Korea. Over here, it's a happy Sunday. So let me know where y'all are watching from right now. And yes, yeah, sorry for the delay. My internet connection was a little fuzzy. I finally identified what the problem is about my computer. It's a really stressful situation. So the thing is, my Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connection is solely based on this little gadget that sticks out. It's like a USB uh, thingy. And once my mic or any of my cables touch, like slightly even touch it, it suddenly disables itself, and which shuts down all my wireless mics, my keyboards, my Wi-Fi connection, and everything. So I have to reboot my computer and wait until this gadget starts working again. So it's very stressful, but anyways, that's what happens every time my live streams go dark, black. So yes, hello everybody. Let me just get rid of this little fuzzy thing in the background. I think it's because of the green screen, but let's see. Yeah, hello from Lynn, 10:15 p.m. Florida, Guadalupe, Waco, Texas 9:19. All right. Let me just check it out over here. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Looks way better now. Okay, guys. My internet was freezing up like the penguins in Antarctica. Yes, exactly. Lisa's watching from Los Angeles. Minji from New York. Feel the vibe from Canada. Basically me from Mississippi. Camille from New York. And Ryan from Singapore. Hello. And Travis, what's up, bro? 10:18 in New York. Okay. Tanyoka, hi. Uto returns. Hello. Okay, we have 80 people. Dolly Baby in the chat. Hi, David. Yes. How are you guys all doing? Shia, hello. From Indianapolis. Okay. I haven't watched this new reality show. Oh, I wonder what it is. Oh, it's about like losing weight together, right? Yeah, that might be interesting. All right, but today we are going to do the old-fashioned way for our show. You know, I've been preparing like presentation slides and sheets for the past few lives and doing kind of deep dives onto one or two or more news per week. But let me just switch it up a little bit and go back to the good old Korea Herald and Instagram news formats and skim through as much news as we can, as usual. Let me know which style you prefer while we're at it. Okay, so since we're almost at 100 people, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Please comment as much as you can, whatever it is. You can spam stuff if you want. Arlene, hello. And yes, let's smash that like button all together and let's go to today's first news. All right. So it was Pepero Day. Who knows about Pepero Day, right? This is the lovely stray kids over here. And Pepero Day was very much celebrated in Times Square in New York over here. It's an iconic snack of Korea. And what's the occasion? Well, every November 11th, Koreans celebrate Pepero Day. It's a fun, lighthearted holiday that started from the snack of the shape of the snack itself. So 11, you know, it looks like a stick. 11, four sticks. So obviously, you know, the marketing companies and the Pepero companies had to, yeah, use it and hijack that date as Pepero Day. I don't know if you guys have anything similar like that in your own countries, like using the shape of a certain date and linking it to a certain snack or food or whatever, and it being turned into a marketing thingy. So yeah, on Pepero Day, it's a day when friends and couples exchange Pepero sticks to show love and friendship, and it's Korea's own version of Valentine's Day, and I think it's pretty cute and romantic. I have nothing against it, even though it is marketing. Yeah, it does make people kind of pressured to buy peperos and gift their loved ones. But the thing is, peperos aren't that very expensive. So I think what matters is the gesture. So last time I was in a relationship, I'm already 33 and I've kind of grown out of my pepero phase. I think there is kind of a age limit to it, quite honestly. Not that there's an age limit to anything in the world, but we do this usually during high school, college, maybe in our early 20s, but then everyone's all burnt out with life and society, and we got to pay our bills and utility fees and everything, tax. So we're like, I'm not gonna buy Pepero. Like, I don't even like Pepero. This is all a marketing scheme, anyways. So people's mindsets kind of start changing when they hit 30 or something. And yeah, like it becomes a hassle. But then in my past relationship, it was Pepero Day, and yeah, obviously I didn't do anything special for it, and it was just like a normal date. But that at the end of the day, literally, my ex was like, "Oh, I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't, prepare anything for Pepero Day." And I was like, "Oh, you really were expecting something? Okay, yeah, I can go and buy you a pepero." And she was like, nah, it's okay now. It's already passed. And like, quite honestly, I did not expect anything. Like, and she didn't even want a pepero, but she was like, at the same time, like, it's a day, and it could be fun if you just bought like a pack of peperos from the CU or convenience store and we ate it together. And it would like she was saying like, oh, I don't want you to prepare like a huge pack or gift or anything extravagant, but if like just out of the day's sake, just go to a convenience store, buy a pepero, and share it together. That would have been cute together, right? And I understood, but then like it kind of it was kind of an ick to me as well when I heard that, because like, oh, you could have just said it in my face, right? And also on the flip side, if why can't you go buy a pepero yourself and share it with me? If you wanted it, you didn't mention it. You if you wanted it, and if it's not that much of a big deal, then you could have gone to the convenience store and said like, hey, today's pepero day, let's share a pepero, right? Like, why does it always have to be the man? I know, like, chivalry and gentleman being a gentleman and romanticism and whatnot, but yeah, anyways, that happened last time. It's the thought that counts, Dave. I know, everyone knows. Yeah, but I think we've all gotten jarred with life nowadays. That even if it's December, what is it, November 11th, it's like, oh, Pepito Day, oh, again. The first thought that comes is like, oh my gosh, time flies. The year has already passed. So yeah, Walmart sells Pocky in the candy section. Okay, that's cute. No age limit to eating Pockies. Okay. I wish that term Pocky can turn into Pepero now. As much as it is a marketing thing and consumerism and uh, snacks, now that the K wave is going global, Pocky is a Japanese snack, so I hope that can get replaced with Pepero. Yeah. So yeah, it's a cute holiday, I would say, and I guess there is a fun origin story according to this article. Rumor has it Pepero Day started in Busan in the mid 1990s when schoolgirls gifted each other Pepero sticks, hoping to become as slim as the snack. That's cute. This is I don't know. Uh, this is like, trust me, I'm the source kind of thing, right? So. Yeah, these days it's more about sharing sweet treats and good vibes, though if Stray Kids are the ambassadors, there's really only one right choice of snack, isn't there, right? So, yeah, they had a massive campaign in Times Square over here for Pepero Day. These days, if you go to Times Square, it's pretty mind-blowing to see all these Korea-related products on these big billboards that cost thousands and millions of dollars, right? So there's even like a dedicated space for Samsung. There's like an LG display place. There's Kakao. I saw a lot of K-pop Demon Hunters over there from Nongshim and like the Fire Noodles. A lot of Korean products on New York Times Square. That's amazing. Yeah, and now we got Pepero, right? Pocky versus Pepero. Pepero because it's a little bit more thick than Pocky. Yeah. hmm Um, let's see. Make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah. I'll buy you a Pepero, bro. Thank you. Just got back from the Tier pop-up in LA. Yeah, I heard V was there, right? Did you get to see V a little bit? What do you think of people getting married on 11/11 knowing that it's Pepero Day? I don't think they choose it because it's Pepero Day. Just like how I didn't choose my Suneung date, which we're gonna be talking about in this live stream. But yeah, if they actually got married because that date is Pepero Day, then good for them. Yeah. We have the same thing. It's called Pocky. Pepero reminds me of the NewJeans one you ate last year. Speaking of NewJeans, thrilled they're coming back. Yes. Oh, wow. Everybody's mentioning all the topics for today. We're going to be talking about NewJeans and Suneung. Those are going to be the two big news for today. Buy her Peperos for December 11th? Okay. Saw a big display promotion in New York City Times Square for Pepero Day. It was very cutesy. Yeah, the one with Stray Kids I just showed you, right? Okay, so I mean, yeah, Pepero Day is now over. I'm glad. There's still like remaining products on the convenience store shelves. They're in massive sales, so if you want Pepero for yourself, you can find them in the convenience stores. This year, I heard that it was a hit because they actually had like Pokemon Peperos. They did like collabs and it boosted the sales, but whatever. If you're in Korea and you want to make a good impression to your girl or guy on November 11th, don't forget to go by and go visit the convenience store and just get a little Pepero. I think that's yeah, that's about it. Like it's the thought that matters, right? Okay, so let's go on to the next news for today. This is pretty much the biggest news that has been reported for the last week. So, yeah, as I mentioned before, 11/11, November 11th for me in 2010, no, 2011, wait, actually 2010, November 11th was my Suneung date. So Suneung, Suneung, or you call it the CSAT or the Korean SAT, whatever you might want to call it. It's one of the biggest days for Korean students and parents and the whole nation itself. So last week it was Suneung. I think it was November. Every year the date changes due to the calendar stuff and like you know whether it's a weekday or not, stuff like that, right? A lot of logistics to consider, but I think it was last Friday, no, Thursday-ish. Yeah, I think it was the 13th. So 3 days have passed since the CSAT. If you happen to be a high schooler that's just graduated and is watching my channel, congratulations so much on your hard work. There's only going to be a flower road ahead of you. Everything's going to be amazing once you get into college or into a job or whatever. You're a legal adult. So yeah, cherish that and celebrate. I'm pretty sure you guys are already going to the movie theaters, going to the plastic surgeons, and going to driving license academies. That's what I did, right? Not as except the plastic surgery part, but yeah, go shopping, enjoy, right? I don't know if any of you are actually like 19, But anyways, just to put it out there, enjoy. Yes, best of luck for those taking CSAT. Oh, you should have said that a little earlier, but yeah. Anyways, best of luck in your exam scores. Yeah, and applying. Like now, it's another phase. Like once you get your scores, you apply for the universities, and then it's another very anxious period of waiting for the results and preparing for other stuff related to that. So yeah. So anyways, let's skim through what the CSAT looks like. So all right. Anyways, in Korea, the College Scholastic Ability Test, which is called the CSAT, is the national exam for the university admission and one of the country's most important academic events. And as I told you guys, literally people prepare for this exam um, at the earliest from like kindergarten, if you want to stretch it that far, because like there's a lot of competition for parents to get their kids into prestigious kindergartens or English ones, which cost a lot of money, and there's like a lot of competition to get in those. There's even prep schools for those kindergartens, which is crazy if you think about it. But at the end of the day, the bottom goal is the CSAT, because this is the determining factor which is going to decide your future in some manners. I don't think it 100% decides your future, but if we're talking about Korea and the whole narrative and the social atmosphere over here, I cannot deny that the CSAT definitely is a big part of your life. It definitely defines your career path, or I don't know what kind of salary you're going to have in the future or what kind of job you're going to have in the future. It's somewhat sad at the same time. But this is reality too. So I would say it weighs almost like more than 50 or 60% of what a lot of people do with their lives and their trajectory. So yeah, I mean, I won't sugarcoat it. So anyways, because it's such of importance, before starting the test, students write a short sentence on the answer sheet, officially known as the handwriting verification sentence, and it is used to confirm each student's identity and typically contains words of hope and encouragement. Isn't that sweet, right? I don't think we had that in the old days when I was taking the exam. It was just some generic message that I had to copy and write on the answer sheet. So it's to prevent from other people coming in and faking their IDs and taking the exam as a substitute for you. But nowadays, I think it's kind of changed on whatever they want to write with their handwriting, and they could probably say, "Oh, please let me get all 100 scores" or something like that, right? The old days, I know. I'm an oldie. It's been I took my test in 2010, so it's been 15 years. Wow. Okay, I think the policies and the format and everything might have shifted from back then. Feels similar to how SATs are sued during U.S. high school students applying for colleges. Oh, okay, okay. But anyways, to go on, each year the CSAT committee selects the sentence carefully, choosing one that showcases the beauty of the Korean language and gives students a positive, uplifting message before they begin the exam. Oh, all right. So, like, it didn't change. So they actually choose the message for them, and they have to write that, in their own handwriting. Okay, I should have read the next paragraph. But okay, let's check out these inspirational phrases from the Korean literary works that motivate CSAT takers every year. All right, so what kind of lines do they have? Like the green waves that sparkle with youth. Oh, that's very poetic. Make your great dreams unfold in this wild world. Oh, yes. The widest path is always within your heart. 가장 넓은 길은 언제나 내 마음속에. Okay. My dream will become the clear, gentle winds that float around me. Wow. Imagine you're taking the exam and you're writing this down on your sheet before you get in. Do you think it'll comfort you? It'll easen you out? Or do you think it's going to be more like it's going to put more pressure in you? I don't know. Dreaming of soaring into the vast sky. 2022, among the countless people, you are the one. Wow. Okay. Wow. Boost your dignity and morale, I guess, right? Hello, Nicole. Don't fail. Is it the end of the school year in Korea? Yes, it's officially. I think they still go to school. Yeah, that's how it works. So you take the exam, you still go to school for a couple more weeks, I think. I honestly don't even remember. It's, as I said, 15 years ago. But definitely we go back to school because we do like the gradings and then we burn our books, throw away all our textbooks and all that shit. And counsel with our teachers about where to apply for which college with our scores and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, we definitely have a few more days at least in school. Mm-hmm. So you old David, you're making me feel old. I know that's what a lot of our viewers say, but in contrary, in comparison to these high school kids, I am old, right? They look at me and they see like, oh, what's that ajashi, right? The phrases are nice but generic, I guess, maybe. So yeah, like they have those phrases, and this is how the Suneung culture is like. So I don't think we had it in our school, but in a lot of schools, the juniors, like before they become the third graders, they cheer for their 선배s with their own like uniforms and stuff, and they do these like chants to just cheer them up. It's like support for the test takers. Look at that. Like we got our K-pop genes in us. I'm glad that I didn't have to prepare for this kind of stuff, honestly, because even the juniors, they're looking into their near future, and they're like, in a year, I'll be in their shoes. I'll be entering that school gate and taking the exam. I don't know if I'd be comfortable in wasting time and energy practicing those kind of. I don't think it's that complex or anything, but it's super cold, so maybe I'm just too selfish. But yeah. So I think it's a cute tradition. I'm glad that my school didn't do it, but a lot of schools that have pride in their alumni and stuff, they do it. Oh wow, this guy went into Yonsei? Okay. Anyways, I hope everybody's hard work pay off, and you should actually hear the sound. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's like the Haka. They're pretty, tough. And yeah, I think it's a great way to boost, your love for your school and your 선배s and your 후배s and your community and all that. So those kiddos are protecting the Honmun. Okay. School in America is from August to May. Oh, interesting. Interesting semesters. Yeah. That's why when we take the CSAT, it's very cold. I remember my test, it was super cold, so everybody had like padded jackets on. But this year, I think the fall season has been a little pushed back. And the autumn leaves are only now falling. So, yeah, I think it wasn't as cold as before. David, can you share how was the day you took the exam? So yeah, basically the day before you are super nervous. You do whatever you can to not make any variables on the actual D day. So for instance, you try to take care of your guts because like the worst thing is if you get an emergency alarm during your test and you have to go run to the bathroom. No excuse for that. Like yeah, you can't you can go, but your time isn't saved or anything. So you want to prevent that. So you eat comfort food, you get a good night's sleep. Yeah, and you get up early in the morning. I forgot what time it is, but probably around like 8, 9 ish. You go to your designated school. It's not your own school. You go to another school because a lot of schools have like desks and people could cheat by like having scribbles on their desk or hiding some papers somewhere or whatever. So they go to all random schools and random classes. You only get to know which class you're taking the exam when once you get to the school. And in the morning, yeah, normally a lot of parents take you to the test place. Some people travel alone. Some people are super late. They get up really late in the morning. There are always exceptions, and these people if they're really, really in a hurry and they are on the verge of missing their exam, they can actually request to the police nearby. Police are on standby just in the case for some students being late. So a lot of students get escorted by police cars. That's how important the exam is. Like it, as I told you, it determines the rest of your life to an extent. So a lot of that's national consensus. A lot of people, parents, adults, just put their sleeves up to help you out no matter what. And you get like support from your what do you call them? Like your juniors. They're like supporting and cheering you up with their drums and like chants. You go in and you sit down. Maybe for some people pray or meditate or just do some last minute cramming. Um, yeah, take a bathroom stop, and then it goes on. Like I think the subjects were in order of Onsue, which is Korean, math, English. Those are the big three, and then you go on to the social studies or sciences, which you've selected. You can choose four subjects, so you take those four additional four subjects. I think mine was like society and culture, geo, geography. Um, was it two exams or four exams? I think you can choose four and take actually two exams. Right. I think it's two exams for social studies and sciences. For the science and math people, they can choose like algebra. No, no, no. Actually, they can choose like, you know, like chemistry and other science stuff. I'm not a science guy, so let's leave that out. And then you got like the foreign language subject, so you can choose like Japanese, Spanish, Chinese, Arabic, whatever. And the whole test time goes on for approximately, give or take, 8 hours. You have a 1 hour lunch break in between. So yeah, 3 hours for the first three essential exams, and 2 more hours for these selective ones, and the last one for the language, and then lunchtime. So maybe 7 to 8 hours, I would say. But you're stuck until like I think the exam ends at about 3, 4-ish. I remember going out and the sun was still up, and then I headed home with my parents, and then like we had a dinner together. So yeah, it's definitely before dinner. And a lot of parents actually like stay in front of the gate for the whole time, in their cars, maybe in the parking lot, just praying or doing whatever they can, hoping their kid does their best. So it brings me back. For me, the importance was a little lesser because I was already accepted in early admission, and with my English skills and extracurricular activities and my like leadership stuff with like being class president, school president, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, for me, like the Suneung exam, I had less pressure. I was just going for a higher school because like there were hybrid what do you call them, like applications or policies where um, on top of your extracurricular and English skills, you can, if you score high enough scores for like two of the essential subjects, such as Korean, or let's say Korean or English and math, if you get like the grade A scores on two of those exams, they give you an opportunity to take, a separate exam for the Sky Universities or something. So I was going for that. I made it to Korea University, the first interview, but then I flunked on the second one because I said some bullshit. I still remember it, and it was like super bullshit. Yeah, I went to the interview. It was for English literature major, and there were three professors in front of me. I was like, wow, like I had to just beat two people. Like I mean, the competition ratio was like 2 to 1, so I just had to beat like theoretically one person, eliminate one person to get in. So it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Korea University, which is one of the Sky. So I was very excited, and yeah, I went into the interview room, and the professors, started asking me this and that, and I said so much bullshit. Um, so I remember, like, I was I don't know why, but maybe I was just so into content, and I guess it was meant to be because they were like, "What is your favorite literature piece?" And obviously, I should have said Shakespeare or something else like related to English literature, probably. But then I suddenly went out of the way and said, "Oh, I think literature can be extended to movies as well." And I think, it's a higher form of literature which visualizes the words into moving pictures. And with technology, I think, yeah, we should like blah, 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 blah. And then I said, like, at that time, my favorite movie director was James Cameron. And I was like, oh yeah, I think he's the best, writer in terms of like writing and stuff, like his storylines. Was Avatar out back then? I think I referenced Avatar and said blah 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 blah, and then the professor is like unimpressed, and they were like, why is this guy talking about movies in an English literature interview? Yeah, like I prepared so much for the interview, and I don't know why that came out, and then obviously I took the big L and then went into media communication at CAU. So, which made my career where I'm at right now. So, if I got accepted to Korea University as an English literature major, I might have been like a I don't know what I might have been with an English literature major. No offense if you are, but I guess it was for the best, right? Mm-hmm. What a loaded answer. I know, right? I'm stupid. And you gotta know back then, like, I was only 19. So, like, honestly, I didn't know what to answer. So you're just like, yeah, saying gibberish. Anyways, yeah, so going back to the Suneung exam, like, this is what it looks like. More pictures of how it looks like on the day, like, sending off their 선배s to the zone. You've got this fighting. Yeah, it's very energetic, right? And obviously, all the celebrities are going to send their congrats and their support to the students as well, too, right? So you can see all the idols: IU, 17, Le Seraphim, TWS. There was BTSV as well, too. And who else? Like I think RM, Karina, G Dragon, basically everyone. Like they put out messages because it's their fan base, and it's also a very important day for Korea. So definitely makes sense for them to put out messages for the guys and the girls. And this is how it looks like on the D-Day. Look at that. All these pictures, parents sending them in, wishing them luck. Aw, it's so heartfelt, right? Like them having these hot tumblers to prevent the cold. Mothers sending them in. I remember my mom hugging me in as well too. Oh, and like maybe this is like probably a sibling, a younger sister, with her. Oh yeah, it says 언니 오빠 수능 화이팅. Yeah, right? Fighting. And people doing big bows to their 선배s, fathers taking care of their daughters. Like this is making me tear up. I don't know why. I didn't even think it was so important, but just seeing these people working so hard for more than 10 years of their life, all for this final destination, and the day actually came, and their parents know how much they suffered and persevered towards this day. So yeah, I definitely get the vibes and feelings. Oh my God. Yeah, and this is a policeman, someone rescuing someone in traffic to get to the to safely get there. Oh, someone brought their dog as well too. Look at that. Someone praying before taking the test. Imagine how desperate you are. Oh, this person's late. Okay. Hope she got in. Yeah, if you're in the gate, you're safe. So the school guard usually shuts the gate at like the designated time sharp because you got to be fair, right? That's showing up is part of the test itself. That is part of it. Like it's the external factor of taking the test. So if you don't make it at time, there's no exceptions. You cannot get in. I think they let you get in after the first subject though, but then you have to get a 0 grade on your first subject, which is detrimental, right? Oh, and this is a senior. senior citizen actually taking the exam as well too. So a lot of people in Korea, you might not know, but before the modern era, a lot of people were illiterate and they couldn't get education because of family duties or work or just to survive. So after they've gotten some, amount of wealth or time, a lot of people have this lingering feeling of like, I wish I could know how to like, read or write or learn and be educated, and they just go on this journey of educating themselves and they take the exam, not to enter college or anything. Maybe they could. There's no one stopping them, but it's more of like self acknowledgement in a self dream, right? So it's very touching. David is getting sentimental, and I can understand since this is all reminiscing. Yes, I remember because yeah, like I busted my ass for 10 plus years, even though I wasn't that good in academics. Um, I had to be in that jail cell that you know that school for all those years, and it that's why I do not want to raise my kid in Korea, to be honest. There's like so less freedom compared to other countries. And the idiom, go out and touch some grass, I think it really, really applies to Korean students because they seldom get to go outside and actually get sunlight. They only go to like cram schools, academies after school. That's all they do. They just study, 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 study. No fun. Maybe some like little cheap dopamine in between, like Instagram or mobile phone games or sneaking into the PC rooms, 노래방, but that's about it. Yeah. So, hmm um, did I hear something about being a bully? You wouldn't be allowed to take the test. Is that true? No, you can take the test, but you cannot enter a university, and it's not legislated like totally, completely, but starting from the top prestigious universities from like Seoul, Korea, Yonsei, they're starting this movement where they're not going to accept anybody who has like a bully record on their report card and sheet. So yeah, it's getting more and more adopted and widespread, and I think it's definitely a thing to do. Yes. It's so sweet and wholesome. I wish people sent support to students here in the US like this. I felt like I was fighting alone during my SAT. Oh. My English degree landed me in business affairs and in intellectual property law, so I think people forget literary analysis is applicable in almost everything. That's very good. But in Korea, it's pretty sad because not a lot of people get to actually use their majors in a direct way. So a lot of people, the sad part about the Suneung is that it's strictly dependent on scores, right? So when you're considering what kind of college and what kind of major you're willing to apply to, it's not based on your interest. Of course, you could consider what your interests are. Like me, I applied for media and communication because I wanted to be somewhat in the content or media field. Of course, there might be interest, but like back then in high school, did you really know what you wanted to study? I don't know. But for Korean folks, it's just more about like getting the best scores on your exam. We don't even have time or the opportunities to actually explore what we're good at, what we like. So that's the sad part about Korean education. There aren't any like vocational schools or anything like that. So like all we do is like get that test score, look at that Excel sheet of the list of schools we can apply to and what score would go under which department or which major. And if I get like this score and it's maybe safe to apply for Yonsei and like I don't know, chemistry or history or human what do you call it? Humanities. Usually humanities are at the lowest of the lowest because people have this image that if you go into humanities, like it's useless, you can't use it in society, it's not, yeah, anything. And usually for the top top majors, it's business management. That's like at the top, and then there's also like anything related to engineering, um, actual like applicable sciences. They're all at the top, um, but we're split between you know I 문과 and 이과. I always don't know how to explain this, but we get to choose whether it will be like a more words and literary humanities kind of person or like a sciences and math kind of person during high school. And the test for the CSAT also gets determined uh, with that as well. You can transit in between, but it's extremely hard because the curriculum is different. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like because you choose your major based on your score results and you don't really think about what you're going to learn, people really just think of like what matters to them is the school itself, like what school you get into, how prestigious it is. And whether it's like social sciences, whether it's humanities, whether it's like business, as long as you're in that school, you get a shot to like a good company or whatnot. So yeah. What matters is school first, and then you go to whatever department you can using your scores, which is pretty sad, right? Anyways, it's the same in most places. Don't think the grass is green on the other side. Yeah, but I do think though, like, if you look at Western education, which I heard is failing nowadays, I know that school isn't really providing that much value, especially public education. I heard a lot of criticism about it, but there's this fantasy in Korea, at least, towards Western education, in the fact that they let kids have questions, ask questions, and have open answers. It's not like memorize all of this. Like this is the answer, the multiple choice question, and this is the only answer. This is how we're taught. It's like, yeah, this is a fact. You need to memorize this. And kids don't ask questions. They're not like curious about anything. They're just like machines, just memorizing stuff they're asked to by the teacher. We don't have debate classes. We don't have any creativity related things, curriculums. And this extends to college as well too. College is a space where you should be debating and talking and discussing, exchanging thoughts, asking questions, challenging um, thoughts, and inventing new stuff. That's usually what the actual term or ideology of college should be. But in Korea, it's just very much the same as high school. People just go there to get good grades and enter a good company. So at the end of the day, a lot of people might enter big corporates, but they end up miserable and unhappy because that's not what they actually want with life. They never wanted that for life. I know a lot of my friends that were excellent in studying and they became the best jobs, like being a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. But it's just because society told them that those are secure and nice jobs. But once they actually land the job, they're all comfortable and financially safe and they're all good and they kind of justify that. But when I drink with them, when I talk with them, a lot of my friends say like they're not actually happy. They actually want to like start a cafe or something. They actually are very interested in brewing coffee or I don't know, some other interest they have. Like my friend, he's very interested in Japanese sake and he wants to make a brewery for that. But because he's a doctor, he can't do it. Like he's like, "Oh, maybe if I turn 60 and above, like." But then, like it I can't. I guess that's like too utopian or idealistic for a lot of people all around the world. But I think in Korea it's a little bit more severe because of this boxed in kind of curriculum and this course we take, right? Americans don't ask questions either. If you ask a general surgery resident in Stanford, they are completely incapable of critically thinking and problem solving. Really, I'm very, very surprised. Because, we always get fed by these YouTube videos of these classes of like with hundreds of people and a professor with a mic going up and down the stairs and just like have a giant chalkboard or projector up there and asking people random questions and they come up to the stage and blah 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 blah. But that's like a very rare scene in Korean colleges. So this is my personal opinion. If you're considering exchange in Korea, I would not recommend. Like the only perk of coming to an exchange in Korea or studying here for a diploma would be solely living in Korea and experiencing our country overall. The academic part, forget about that. This is my personal opinion, okay? But you won't get the high quality education you're dreaming of. Yeah. Maybe compared to some other countries that might have a lower GDP or like lesser of an infrastructure, Korea might be a good place in the middle ground, but I won't say that academically it's Korean curriculums or colleges will fulfill your academic needs. I mean, in the case for some special schools like KAIST, they might. In Seoul University, they might. But anything other than that, it's just for like, getting good grades to get good jobs. That's my point of view. Maybe it's too pessimistic, but I think it's a realistic one as well. Oh, I had that kind of professor once. He would call out random people and ask them questions. I think that's the best. And nowadays, I think it's becoming even more of a problem because we use ChatGPT and AI. You know that students nowadays they rely on ChatGPT so much that they like schools had to invent anti-generative AI systems and models to block them from using it. It's crazy. It's crazy times. hmm But anyways, going back to Suneung again, how important it is. Korea silences the skies for Suneung. So from let's see. The measures include pushing back the official start of the working day by 1 hour. So all the companies they push back their working hours by 1 hour. So if you have to go to work by 9, you're allowed to go by 10. Even grounding and forbidding landings of airplanes for the duration of the English language listening test from 1:10 p.m. to 2:20 p.m. So we have like an English listening section in the beginning of the English test because listening is very important, right? So I think it's about like 30 minutes or something. Yeah, for that duration, there are no airplanes in the sky because your spider senses, your ears are all just focused on that audio that's coming out from that outdated speaker in the room, right? To hear whatever this person is saying was so yeah, they're trying to get rid of any kind of noise, any kind of traffic, any kind of variable that might mess with the performance. And actually, if something really bad happens, a parent or the student, him or herself, could sue um, the cause. And there were cases like that. Yeah. Yes, please like, comment, and share, everybody. Thank you so much. Vocational schools are necessary here. If you are a plumber or can repair an aircon or furnace, you can make a lot of money. Those are respectful professions. I totally agree. And I feel like Korea should shift more towards that. Because everyone in Korea wants to go to college. And I guess I'm not in a good place to talk about this, but I firmly believe that not everybody has to go to college. And college does not grant you that much value as people think about it, like consider that they do. And people in the fields of as you said, like plumbing or fixing air cons or like engineering furnaces or anything like that. That's all very principal needs and very high demand stuff in our society would stop functioning if we didn't have those kind of jobs. But because society kind of frowns upon those kind of jobs, kids don't want to do that, and the salaries. I guess the salary is pretty competitive despite the image itself because like there's less people who want to do it, and it's a tough job that nobody wants to do nowadays in Korea. The situation is foreigners are coming in and filling those places in, but like if everyone goes to college and everyone competes for this small pie for a 9 to 5 office job, and they all limit their potential just to get like an office job that they don't really actually want. I don't think there's growth in self and the country and economy and in humanity as a whole. So I guess like the social atmosphere and the infrastructure for people to be able to discover what they actually like, aka vocational schools and experiences, thus are very important. Blue collar jobs are necessary. Yes, in a nutshell. Thank you. And actually, yes, white collar jobs are the most AI affected. That's true. The paradigm might shift. But then we also have the Tesla humanoid robots coming up. So we don't know if blue collar jobs are safe as well. Yeah, so anyways, here are some more pictures. Kids being super excited. I wonder if Korea Herald got the portrait rights for these kids. I don't know if they actually agreed for it. But yeah, if I was this kid, I don't know if I would have agreed for this to be published on a newspaper. But it looks very sweet, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, how sweet. Yeah, I can just feel how happy it is, regardless of the score results. Like how relieving it must feel to have ended, to have put a period on a decade of hard work and studying, right? So yeah, I got that feeling when I was done. I flunked my exam and I knew, like I didn't get good scores, but when I was going out that gate, I was like, oh, it's the beginning of a new life. Yeah, but it's not the case for everyone because for me, I had the luxury to think like that because I already got an early admission. But for people whose only opportunities is Suneung, if they didn't do well on the exam and they made a mistake that they consciously know and they think like their performance was very poor, then they're extremely depressed coming out of the gate because that probably means they won't be able to go into a college they wanted to, or they would have to study another year. So we have uh, exam schools that or dorms that you can actually go into for an extra year or 2 years. Normally, people go up to like 2 more years of preparing the Suneung exam. Jin, for example, my friend Jin, he did samsu. Jesu means taking 1 more year. Samsu means taking 2 more years of the exam. So sam is like 1, 2, 3, right? So 3 times exam. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine doing 2 more years of studying just for the Suneung exam. It's crazy. Yeah. But those are the lengths of people that people take to get into good colleges, right? Hello, Couch Potato Party. Yes. What do people usually do to celebrate finishing? Like go out to fancy dinners? For sure. Yeah, we usually go to buffets or back then family restaurants were a thing, so we would go to Outback Steakhouse or, TGI Fridays or, any of that kind which has that family vibe. Um, yeah, I remember my mom and dad took me out for like Hanu, Korean beef, a really nice place, and celebrate together. Yeah. So yeah, good old days. Hmm. Med school interns need to learn bedside manner to their patients desperately. Oh, okay. You guys are just talking in the comments, right? Yeah, well done, everybody. Again, if you are a student that has finished, congratulations. And age doesn't matter when it comes to learning. So this is interviewee who was 78 year old, Seo Hae-suk. She said, I entered middle school at the top of my class and even received scholarships, but I couldn't go to high school because my family couldn't afford both my tuition and my younger brothers, so I had to give up my studies. She's a victim of the patriarchy, the man-loving society. Probably her brother, oh yeah, her sibling was a man, and usually families back then would prioritize a man getting education over a woman. So there are a lot of victims of this in our society. Yes, and I'm glad that she could get the opportunity to self-fulfill her dream. Hmm. Decades ago, many people in Korea couldn't continue their education due to financial hardship, especially women. That's why Ilsung Women's Middle and High School was founded, a 2-year accredited lifelong education school for women in their 30s to 80s who never had the chance to finish school. That is amazing. That is awesome. That is awesome. When will the exam result be announced? So usually it's announced almost immediately. So what happens is the private education sector is so huge here. TAs, right? Teacher assistants or the actual teachers from these private sectors go take the exams themselves. And what they do is like they actually take the exam, but their other mission is to copy and memorize what the questions were. They bring them out. Like hundreds of people are actually uh, put into those exams. They get the questions and everything out, and the TAs and the teachers collectively make answer sheets for all these exams, and they're already like distributed through private channels or online, and the students get access to that within, I would say, 6 hours or something. And like teachers, if you've been in the private education sector for 10 plus years and it's your job, then high school level exams aren't going to be a problem. So they all have the answers for it, and based on those, you can grade your stuff. So you get like a 99% accurate score of what you got based on those answer sheets you can check on the internet. And you can start preparing for what kind of universities you want to go to. And reports and journalists also put out news about like how difficult this exam was, because it's like relative score, right? It's graded in percentile and relative. So like they'd be like, oh, this year's math exam was more difficult than last year, so probably the sky cut would be like 97 points or something like that. So yeah, you don't need to worry about the exam results. You'll get them eventually and soon enough, right? With all those different channels. Um, yeah. So so what's a fun part about the Suneung is for us people that have already graduated and are just living our lives. It's very ironic that we consume it as entertainment, but the actual tests get uploaded on the internet, and we can get a peek of how it was like. And people take the test for fun sometimes. I don't know why people do it. I think they're perverts. But I would personally never spend my time going through that horrible experience, but I know a lot of people that actually just do this for fun as a hobby when the Suneung is over. Like usually people in their early 20s, when they're like fresh with their knowledge they've already acquired from high school, they take these exams again, just testing themselves. What would have I made this year? But yes, there are some questions that are published, And this year, apparently, this was the 3 point question on the English exam. And 3 pointers are the hardest ones. So if you score this one, this is like the deal breaker for your score. So I actually looked at this question on the subway just yesterday, and I got like 100 score on English back then. Um, but I gotta tell you, the time constraint is crazy. Like I barely finished, even with my English skills. I'm telling you, I barely even finished. And thank God I got 100. But I went back in the subway and I was just looking at this on my phone, trying to solve it. And like, if you're going to be in the replay gang or something, like screen cap this and try to, or go to the Korea Herald and try to solve it yourself. I would think that you'd be surprised on how difficult it is. It took a while for me to actually get this right. And I got it right in one go, but actually I was very confused between two or three answers. Like, because they all seem to actually fit. Yeah. And the secret to solving these questions is not like getting the answer right, but as I told you, it's matching the time. So you need to actually be super on the clock. So even with this whole thing, you say you see the passage, right? Kant was a strong defender of the rule of the law as the ultimate guarantee not only of security and peace, but also of freedom. He believed that human societies were moving towards more rational forms regulated by effective and binding legal frameworks because only such frameworks enabled people to live in harmony, to prosper, to cooperate. So the secret to it is we go to cram schools, right? You do not read the full pass. You do not read the full passage. You only take the core words or the core sentences. So you skim through the sentences and you circle Kant, strong defender, rule of law, security and peace, freedom, human societies, and then go on, legal frameworks, harmony, prosper, cooperate, however, and then you put a triangle on however because that's like a twist of narrative over there. And then there's the opposing side, like however, optimistic triangle, high-minded view triangle, and you go on, and then there's another guy, Hobbes appears, right? So you put a rectangle on Hobbes, and then there's like man's violent, conflict-prone nature. So you compare Kant, like you make a directional arrow between Kant and Hobbes together. So you can scribble on the textbooks, the papers, and then you go on, and then we cannot star on we cannot count on people's benevolence or goodwill, nation of devils, blah 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 blah, and then you go down and read the last sentence 5 times over and over again and go through the multiple chance questions and then link them with the important parts you've already highlighted, and then you get the answer. So that's how you do it. Like it doesn't really teach you how to digest the full body of this, but it actually, like, the system mechanically teaches you how to like extract the important parts and like derive to an answer in the quickest way possible. So that's the focus of the exam, I would say. But for me, I didn't have to do that because, like for high school Korean students, they probably don't know like 40% of all the vocabulary that appears here. Like I would say that they wouldn't know words like benevolence or legal frameworks or ultimate guarantee, something like that. They wouldn't know embodiment, but they have like fragmented vision here, and they combine the parts together, and they derive like a logical solution. So that's how it works. So yeah, you go on and try the exam yourself. Let me flip to the next one. So yeah, it's pretty tough in my opinion. Screen cap this and solve it if you want, if you have extra time. SAT courses teaches the same principle to skim through long passages in the exam. I guess it's the same all over the place. But I really think that's like not good. I mean, I guess like if you're in the same conditions, that's a way to evaluate someone's capability to solve a problem in a limited amount of time with the comprehension of what the meaning is and along with the vocabulary and English skills. But in actual society, I think the better skill would be actually understanding the full context and the meaning of the passage, and also being like sure of what the answer is rather than guessing it by parts of it. So I don't know if that's the right direction, but who am I? No one writes like this or talks like this except maybe lawyers. Yeah. That doesn't teach thinking skills. Thank you. That was exactly what I was about to say. Exactly. Um yeah. But apparently the English section this year was more difficult than usual. So I it took a while for me to solve that question. Yeah, but that's it for Suneung. I'm very glad that it's over for a lot of high school students. Finally, they can enjoy their life a little bit. They can dye their hair. They can go shopping, wear whatever they want. We have restrictions on whatever we want to wear at school. So usually have uniforms. Schools that don't have so. I think most high schools have school uniforms. I haven't seen one without school uniforms. Yeah, and I think school uniforms are better because a lot of people get bullied because of their appearance, because either they don't have fashion sense or either because of their, like financial situations, they can't get fancy clothes, so they always wear the same clothes or worn out clothes or handed down by their siblings or parents, which is perfectly fine. But as a kid, as like young people, people like to point out that kind of stuff and bully people. So I think uniforms are way better, although that it kind of steals away the individualistic creative mindset. It's a trade-off, but I would still think I lean more towards school uniforms because of that sense, because you don't have to worry about what you're gonna wear every single day, and that's a stress for a lot of people. I still have my school uniform. I think I've thrown mine away out. Yeah, but yes, that was it for the Suneung exam. I'm sure the kids are out and about now. Oh, maybe they're at school. School usually ends early after Suneung because the teachers don't have anything to do. They literally have nothing more to teach, or the students don't have any will to learn. It's ironic, right? Like everything's very exam oriented. That's the end goal, which should not be the case in education, right? But I wish my only 2 cents about our education system is that substantially it's very flawed and toxic in my opinion, but I can't change that. So if anything I would want to add to our system is vocational education and experiences, maybe during the weekends or something, um, and also financial literacy. Financial, yes, because in the real world, we don't really use the knowledge we obtain from school that much. It's more about like how to survive with your finances. So it's still wild to me thinking that schools don't teach about finance, because at the end, as an adult, the most important skill is um, handling your finances, right? The most I knew about finances was like you gotta save. That was about it. Don't spend too much. So yeah, that's kind of sad. Okay. So what about the students not taking the test? Do they go to school that day? I don't think so. I don't think so. I haven't heard of those students because at my school, everyone 100% took the test. But there are other schools where they're like vocational schools where people train to become mechanics or hairdressers or certain skill sets like welding or construction, uh, vehicles, stuff like that. So for them, I don't think Suneung matters that much. Yeah. U.S. schools took away home economics courses for more math and science courses. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, I don't know why. I honestly think it's not a conspiracy theory that the education system and curriculums, the fact that they don't teach finances is because the people on the top of the pyramid, either it's our government officials or whoever within this capitalistic hierarchy, the people in the 1%, they know that not everybody can be should be rich. So they're eliminating the chances and making it difficult, more difficult and difficult for normal people to climb up the ladder and gain more wealth because they need to secure it for their own selves. I don't think it's a conspiracy at this point. The fact that they don't add that in public education is, I just think, strong evidence that a lot of people, everyone knows that it's super important, but why it isn't in our textbooks? Nobody knows about mortgages, loans, interest rates, commodities, assets, capital, management, banking, all that kind of stuff. And you're just in the wild once you graduate college or when you're 20 and you get a job. And without that knowledge, people just swipe their credit cards to their maxes and get loans without even thinking, get just spend, and they end up broke. So that's capitalism for you, I guess, right? There are so many YouTubers that talk about this. Why don't colleges teach finances, real estate, equity? Exactly. Because, you know, okay, I'll go on to the next topic, but at the end, it's kind of interesting how everyone goes to colleges for good jobs and they want to get good jobs because they want a better salary. And the reason they want a better salary is to have a better life because it doesn't give you happiness, but it gives you security. And if the end goal is a better salary and getting higher payments and accumulating wealth, then why isn't that taught in the basic level? So yeah, colleges do teach finance though. Some maybe, but not mine. I didn't got taught in any kind of finance. Yeah. But let's go on to the next topic. How many people are watching? Oh wow, 300 people. So please press that like button before we go on. And let's go on to everybody's favorite topic again, NewJeans. What's her ETA? What's her ETA? Every university here teaches finance in the finance major. Of course, if you're in the finance major, you teach finance. But like for students like me in media and my friend in the semiconductors or chemistry, they don't learn about finances, right? Okay. Anyways, let's go to NewJeans. Yes. So everybody knows by now. I won't go in that deep into the NewJeans saga. It was a whole ride. It was a whole year. It has passed. It's now come to a point, period. We have some closure. We have a conclusion. So NewJeans is back. And before you go on saying like, oh, the three members aren't final. Okay, I know about that. But like, let's just simply say they're back, right? Welcome, Dolly Baby, to the KPC member. Thank you so much. Dojins shake my head, I know, right? But this is undeniably the biggest issue right now, along with the Suneung in Korea, and there's a lot of talk on regarding their future. So let's make some future projections, and the future doesn't seem so good. So there are real scenarios coming out, predictions by the Korean public, and I'm here to read them to you guys. So just a quick recap. We got surprised last week because NewJeans Haerin and Hain announced that, actually Adore announced that they will continue their journey with Adore under Hybe, and basically they returned, right? And afterwards what happened was we got breaking news that all 5 members of NewJeans decided to return to Adore, as Minji, Daniel, and Hani also agreed, also put out a statement saying that they would return to Adore, but Adore isn't responding now. And then Adore went on saying, oh, we still need to confirm the truth and their sincerity about the issue, so we're going to have one-on-one consultations with the 3 members. So apparently the former 2 members, Haerin and Haerin, are cleared. They had talks. Their parents had talks like weeks before the announcement. So Adore has confirmed that. So they're all good. But the 3 members, they're still in this weird limbo phase, right? So that's why a lot of people are saying they're not back yet. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, the agency says they are still verifying, but right now, yeah, the funny part is one of our members is currently in Antarctica, which delayed the communication, and since Adore has yet to respond, we decided to announce this separately. So the member that is in Antarctica is guessed to be Danielle, who's big into marathons, and there's like this huge marathon event in Antarctica, supposedly. So she's there. Yeah, we've covered the whole thing on DKDKTV, so go check out that one. Not many details I'm going to go into in this one, but just to tell you a little bit about the responses and the scenarios, a lot of people are predicting what happens now. What happens now, right? Goodness, so much drama, right? So technically now, legally, their window of time has is finished now. They cannot appeal anymore. It's final. So I don't know what's going to be the final decision for the 3 members, but technically, if Adore doesn't accept them, they'll have to pay their debts and their fines and their consequences. So I don't think that is going to happen because it goes against what they said in court, what Adore said in court, because Adore said if the members are willing to come back to our agency, we've prepared a lot for them and we will cooperate to do our best to make them comfortable with the company again and give them our full support. So because Adore stated that in the court hearings, I think the chance that they reject the 3 members are very slim. Okay, so I think it's pretty much finalized that all 5 members are going to be intact as NewJeans, and Minijin also came out saying that her case and NewJeans' case is separate. Please don't entangle the NewJeans members into my case anymore. She wishes them the best, and in her opinion, NewJeans is only NewJeans when they're 5 members. So they have they have Minijin's blessing as well too. So I don't see any obstacles technically right now for NewJeans to become the old 5-member NewJeans, right? However, there are alternative theories and scenarios about it. But before we go on into it, let me share a little story of how I responded when this was all happening, right? So Hybe stock surged on the NewJeans news. It was crazy. So I was actually just on my ass in front of the computer, probably eating something at that time. I was analyzing the stock market because the Korean stock market nowadays is on fire, and I'm earning a shit ton of money. Just kidding, but I'm earning some good allowance money from the stock market nowadays because it's so good. It's at its all-time high. But like I put out this video on Daily David Kim on my new Instagram account saying that I put my life savings, I bet my life savings on Hybe just because of the sole factor that BTS is coming back next year for their world tour. Guessed to be more than 65 shows, stadium tours probably. And that itself would generate so much money that it's just like a bonus round for me, honestly. I cannot see Hybe stocks going down. So I bet my whole not my whole life savings, but a big chunk of my life savings into Hybe when that news came out. But then apparently the old stock myth or stock saying of sell on news, when the news hits, you gotta sell, was actually right because stocks started to plummet after, like, you know, spiking up with that BTS news. So I was up like 15% and then it suddenly came back to my buying price. So I just like went out. Like I went out a little above my buying price and I earned like $500 out of it, and I was like, "Oh shit, I was up like $10,000 and now I'm at 500. This sucks." So yeah, I cashed out 500, and then the stock market started to correct a lot, and it went down even crazy, even more after those 15% correction. It went down like even 20%, and people are in the Hybe community were crying like, why is this happening? They said BTS is gonna come back, and people were fighting against each other, like saying like, oh, you always have to sell on the news, blah 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 blah. So I was kind of confused too. But, you know, like, I guess it takes some time because, like, BTS is only going to come in, like, a few months. So I guess in the meantime, there's no reason for the stocks to go up. So I was happy with my $500, and I was just sitting there looking for the right time to go into Hybe, right? But then, like, as I was analyzing the stock market, and I got some sweet gains out of Samsung and SK Hynix with the whole AI boom right now. One day I was just like, you know what? Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, okay, like, you know, we're in a correction, but Hybe going down like 30%, that's stupid. This is so cheap. Hybe was the $300 mark of Hybe was broken, and it was selling at 280 something bucks. I was like, okay, this is stupid. Like, I'm just gonna go back all in. I like, even better for me because I got a better buying price. So I went all in, and miraculously that day, the news of Headin and Hein came out, and in the aftermarket is when the stock market closes at 3:30, and then from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. we have like an aftermarket, which is a very small size one. Only retail investors mostly invest during that time. But in the aftermarket, the Headin and Hein news came out, and I was like, what? NewJeans is coming back? But 2 members? And I checked Hybe stocks, and it soared like 5%. A 5% of Hybe stocks is a lot. And I was like, holy shit. And I saw the number over there of my Hybe stocks values, and I was like, oh shit, should I sell right now? And then I was just like talking to my friends with Danny and everybody about like NewJeans coming back. Like, did you see the news? This is crazy. Oh my gosh. And then I was like just watching some other news related to it, and I was like going to communities, seeing the responses of like how the other 3 members are not being mentioned. Are they going to come back or not? And everyone was guessing their own wild guesses about the 3 members. Oh, maybe they're not coming back. And then in like 2 hours, there was news that the 3 members would be coming back. And then it went up another 5%. And it was trading at plus 10%. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to sell. Like, I was going to hold this long term, but I need to sell because this is abnormal. I know the impact of NewJeans, but this 10% in the aftermarket is like a castle built on sand, you know, because it's all retail investors just flocking because of the news. Tomorrow, when it opens in the actual market, the 10% isn't applied, so we start at zero again. So I was very skeptical that we would start over above like 10%. So I was like, oh, I need to sell. So I was with my friend outside, just walking, and I was like, oh shit, okay, I'm selling. And then I made a lot of profit. I made a shit ton of profit. Thank you, NewJeans, out of that one trade. I think I made more than 10K, something like that. And I was like, okay, I'm done. And then the moment I sold at 7:58 p.m., it started dropping like 2%. And then, yeah, I was super happy. I bought my friend some beef. And yeah, the next day, I was very nervous looking at the stocks and seeing if it goes above 10% because then I would feel FOMO and I would feel bad that I exited. But then the next day it only went up 3% as I expected, and then the next day it fell down 3%. So basically, yeah, it came back to ground zero. So it was a smart move for me. And yeah, I was super happy about it. So thank you, NewJeans. And as this article says, it jumped more than 10%. Because I was there, and the closing point was at like 8.93% or something like that. But yeah, that was how the market responded right after, and it was a crazy, crazy trading market. So that was sweet. How sweet, NewJeans. Thank you so much. But anyways, I'm bullish on Hybe because this is another thing that's gonna come out soon. But like BTS aside, like BTS is a given, but Cortis, god damn Cortis. Okay, let me save that for another segment. But oof, okay, I was streaming Cortis's music all day long yesterday. I'm like, okay, Hype, we got NewJeans, we got BTS, we got Cortis, we got Cat's Eye, we got like all these other groups, Zero Base One, Alpha Drive One, TXT, and Hypen, Le Sserafim, everybody going crazy. So I'm like, yeah, there's only upside for Hype. So yeah. Anyways, going back to NewJeans, that was the market reaction. So now it's the public reaction. Everybody making YouTube videos about it. Lawyers coming out saying what happens from now on. Fandom communities predicting their future. So back at the door about what's next for NewJeans without Minijin. So I found this very interesting short. The short itself isn't interesting, but the comments are very interesting because the shorts, the content of the short itself says, what will happen after NewJeans come back? And multiple scenarios. Despair edition. This means despair or bad scenarios, right? So this is all in Korean, but basically the comments, wrap up what Korean people are thinking about their future, and I have a more accurate translation ready for you guys. So there are multiple scenarios for NewJeans at the moment, and a lot of people are thinking in the negative aspect, and there are three big scenarios, right? So the dominant scenario, which got the most likes, is that they're gonna give one more song, and that's the last one. That's going to be likely the last one. So Adore is going to receive them, like accept them, give them one more song or one more album, and that's it. Then Adore is going to keep spinning events with the old songs, making them do performances, concerts, to recover the losses, and then end the contract once it's 2029 and cut ties. And a lot of people agree to this. People say this is very plausible. So scenario one, accept NewJeans, give them one more album or song, spin them through all these performances and concerts, recoup the losses, end the contract, bye-bye. Amy, I feel like HYBE is going to retaliate. Okay. What do you think about scenario 1? Okay, so remember this because I'm going to do a vote in the chat, right? So scenario 1, again, HYBE gives them one more song or album, spin them, recoup the losses, cut ties once the contract ends. Okay, right? So another one, what they're saying is, let's see. So another one, number 2, is their natural deterioration or natural decay. I know the wording's harsh, but a lot of people say that actually Minijin's ability to produce, and not only her, but producers like Yeogong 250, and also like other, other art directors from SM, let's say FRNK, and all these people, Kim Gi-hoon, Bana, they all went to Bana. So nobody's left in Adore that was the former creative background of NewJeans. Minijin's gone, 250's gone, this FRNK guy is gone. Not even the Dolphin movie director guy, he's cut ties with HYBE. So nobody who was actually supporting their aesthetic vibe is left in Adore. So a lot of people are saying, okay, HYBE might try to promote them, but it's not going to be the same, and they won't have the same vibes. They'll probably slap on some like weird ass girl group vibe that they don't understand, and it's going to be underwhelming, and their popularity isn't going to be as much as before. So that's number 2. It's just the natural extinction theory, let's say, right? Everything is gone. Their entire creative team is gone. Exactly. So number 2 theory is because their entire creative team is gone, it's just going to be generic and unpopular. That's number 2. And let's see the last one. The last one is as simple. The cabinet theory. Because of the grudge Pang PD or HYBE has towards them, and to make them an example of the K-pop industry, they're going to be shelved. Yeah, they're going to be shelved. And they're not going to do anything. So this is like, I guess, a branch of theory number 1. So like they just do the bare minimum, and I guess that could be considered as shelving. So this could be 1-1, but still, let's this divide it into 3, right? So number 1 is like minimum support, minimum performances, recoup their losses. Number 2 is like creative team is gone. They're all just gonna go extinct naturally. Number 3, they're gonna be shelved completely. They won't see the light. They'll be trapped in their basement, right? And last one, okay? There's one last one. Number 4. Let's see. Yeah, number 4 is the continuous conflict theory. So even though the legal battle has now been settled and NewJeans has crawled back into HYBE, a lot of people predict that the 3 members are very hostile towards Adore and HYBE until today. So they would, from the inside, not cooperate with HYBE and Adore's operations and guidelines. They would make excuses, they would try to find other loopholes or make a scene or conflicts or whatever, and the conflict is going to drag on internally. There's going to be a power struggle between the artists and the company, even though the legal battle has settled. Who knows, right? So those are the majority of theories that are going on in the moment from the Korean side. And a lot of comments are saying, just pray no damages, or just pray no damages come from the lost activity so far. We should be grateful for that. The moment Hybe and Adore files that lawsuit, NewJeans members are done for. Preventing them from activities elsewhere is what's meaningful. Even if you bring them back, they won't let them promote. I'd do the same, no album release. Don't support them. Let's see what happens. The public is already tired of them. A jewelry box, that's just a storage case in disguise. NewJeans Minji, Hani, and Danielle's return is facing difficulties due to internal condition negotiations. According to sources, these three demanded guarantee of Minijin's return or waiver of all penalties and civil claims as preconditions during the talks with the agencies. The agency views this as a major issue affecting overall operations and says careful review is needed. They're prioritizing activities for Haerin and Hain, who've already agreed to return, but internally they've shared that the three others' return won't happen until these unreasonable demands are fully withdrawn. Industry eyes are on this. The three still haven't come to their senses. Their return condition is Minijin's comeback. Lol. They were rude to Adore's rep at the National Assembly hearing and tried to trash Eyelid and Le Seraphim's image. Do you think they'll let them promote? I wouldn't either. They'll come out to squeeze more juice, then do talk shows to wash their image, sneak release a song, and suck up money like nothing happened. They've already tasted 5 billion won, so their brains react instantly to money. Okay. Oh, this one's interesting. Let's not even talk about what they did, especially Honey. One, gave false interviews saying Korea treats artists as laborers and exploits them. Two, got called to the National Assembly's hearing, then lied saying artists' voices were ignored. Three, her hearing testimony was proven false, but she repeated the lies in foreign media interviews claiming harassment. Four, meanwhile, she actually harassed and forced out eyelid managers, which were real entry-level workers. And fifth, court ruling records show she lied about Eyelid members, harassing her, evaluating each one individually. Videos prove Eyelid bowed 90 degrees while Hani didn't bow properly herself. Who's writing this? These Korean comments I'm reading to you guys. Yeah. The public's already tired of the storage boxes, all this kind of stuff. And the one I read right now was where'd it go? And this one's very popular. Do you understand? Yeah, this is Minji is being bombarded with criticism because of that one line. Because she said to a reporter, she answered a reporter's question with 이해하시겠어요? 이해가 되세요? Like something like that, and it was like passive aggressive to the reporter. So yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so the public isn't really positive towards them right now. I don't think it matters that much, but let's see again. So, how do I put this up? Text. Wait a sec. One more. Shot. Recoup. Losses. End contract. Buy. Second was, what is it? Won't be same before. Creative team is gone. Unpopular. 3 is shelved. Is it shelved or shelved? I don't know. 4 is conflict continues internally. There you go. So yeah, let me put this up. There you go. So, among these scenarios, which do you think is the most likely? Let's see in the chat. Okay? These are scenarios that people are saying. Vote in the chat, please. Type 1 if you think Adore is going to give them one more shot, recoup the losses, end contract and buy. Or maybe Adore does their best. NewJeans still strong. Yeah. Maybe the four were too pessimistic. But okay, what do you think happens? Conflict continues internally? Wow. You guys really leaning into that. Okay. 1. Ooh, wow. Okay. This is interesting. I don't know if I can actually make 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Okay. I can actually make a vote over here. One more shot. Buy. And creative team. On. Buy. Shelved. NewJeans still strong. Yep, I put up a vote in the chat. Can we choose multiple choices? Yeah, you can chat in the chat, I guess. I'm curious what you guys think. If you have other scenarios, feel free to type them in the chat and maybe send a super chat if you want it to be considered as a possibility. So we have 24 people, 26, 30 votes. And let me just get some water before I read the votes. In my opinion, it's 2 and 4. 2 and 4. So that means you think it's won't be same as before and conflict continues internally. Ooh. Okay. Oh yeah, there were 5 choices. I'm so sorry. I messed up with the with the thingy. Yeah, anyways, I think regardless, most of the people in the votes are choosing one more shot and buy. Same as the Koreans. Okay, so I guess everyone thinks likely that Adore is going to give them one more shot, try to collect back their losses from them, and end the contract. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah. Karma's a B. Oh. Minijin single-handedly ruined the careers of talented idols by using her influence on NewJeans members. So actually, yesterday, a very famous producer in Korea, I think his name is Yunil-sang. Yeah. So a very famous producer respected in the Korean music industry named Yunil-sang came out and actually commented about NewJeans. And his insight, his words were pretty interesting. Yeah. What he said was, What he said was, he was like, "Oh, are we really talking about this?" And then he actually dropped some words saying, "Contracts are not a joke." Shortly put, contracts are not a joke. That I want to put out first. And then he definitely threw some shade at Minijin. Trenami's comment actually reminded me of his interview, saying, "If you say that you love your artist, you shouldn't be exposing them in danger. That's not truly loving them." Hmm. He also added, "My heart is torn that the NewJeans members about the NewJeans members. They could regret in the long future about their actions right now. However, they would not know because they're not in the future and they don't have the ability to see it. In this kind of case, adults need to be the guidance. Adults that are next to them mistreated, mishandled this case because of their own profit, and it's very disappointing." Yeah, and then it goes on, but that's basically it. So this guy actually, go check out his interview. It went viral yesterday because a lot of people did not expect him to speak out about New Jeans, but that's what he said. But I guess all of you guys in the Korean communities think that Hybe is going to give them one more chance, and out of their own best interest as well, make some profit, and when it becomes contract renewal period, they're going to cut them off. I don't know. If they make good profit, though, will they? If they're a good cash cow, I don't think they'll cut them off. Because Minijin is going to take them, right? Their Melon and Spotify streams are still high, so initially people will still check their new material out of curiosity. That's my base case too. Like I think New Jeans, at this point they're too big to fail. They might have took a lot of damage from this, but whatever they put out at this point, it's gonna be above par. It's gonna be better than, you know, what most groups put out because of the drama too and their past work too. But whether that's superb and excellent and out of this world is a question because their creative team is all gone and they don't have as much power as before because of the whole drama and their scars. But nobody doubts that when they come back, they're going to have a certain amount of success, right? It's not going to be like a flop. His comments are 1000% on point. Is that Yunil-sang? Yes, it is. Money talks. David, what's the name of the guy again? Yoon Il-sung. Well, 100% that they're gonna make money for sure. Yeah. NewJeans needs one more comeback to make a stamp on the scene like how Hype Boy propelled them high. Adore has worked very hard to keep them. It'll be stupid of them to let them go at this point. Yeah. Adore makes an example of one member and NewJeans promotes as four. Interesting. I don't think that's going to happen though. Silent majority will come out to support. Yeah, that's true. NewJeans is no longer an asset but a liability to Hybe. It will affect somehow the dynamics of others. But NewJeans is not the same without Minijin, ironically, right? Hybe will give them a comeback, but they will be completely controlling it creatively as punishment for NewJeans' actions, or at least that's my prediction. Yeah, sounds based. Sounds like people are willing to overlook all the heartache and damage they caused, all in the name of money. I don't think it's the people. I think Adore might be willing to. Yeah, because Hybe is a profit company at the end. So yeah, it's interesting how people think about this. How you guys all have different scenarios. But yeah, I think the most hybrid and middle ground of all these different thoughts is the number one theory we saw. They're gonna get a comeback with a few songs for performances, make some money, and no other contract. True, it's the real world. But then there are some cases in K-pop where actual grudge was held and punishment and conflict went on for years. So I can't think of many, but one thing I can think of is the beef between YG and some certain broadcast networks, some TV stations. So I remember YG artists only going on like Inki SBS Inkigayo or M Countdown, and it goes against profits, right? Technically speaking, because like back then, going on those major shows like NBC, KBS, all that was very important in terms of promotion. But I guess in that case, the power dynamic was kind of reversed because Big Bang or 21, they were just so big, too big, they didn't even need to go to those kind of shows. But I'm just saying, like, principle wise, there are some cases where companies make irrational decisions out of beef and grudge to teach lessons and stuff. So who knows? Pang PD might be like, oh, F them. We got enough groups. Let's just shelf them. Make them an example. No one can crawl up on us again. That might be the case. Who knows? Yeah, and like even in company settings where they have no beef or they're completely just in good terms with certain groups, some companies it's actually a case where one group just becomes so big that the resources are just reallocated to that one group, and the leftover group doesn't get as much support or spotlight or any comebacks and becomes shelved involuntarily. There are cases like that. I don't think that's going to happen with Hybe because they're like sub labels. I don't know, but considering that there are even cases like that in the K-pop sphere, I don't think it might be super far-fetched to think maybe I would half-ass NewJeans' comeback or support and just focus on CORTIS or focus on a new group coming out, right? Because you got to invest a lot of money in comebacks and debuting groups. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons, one of the catalysts that pulled down Hybe stocks like down 20% recently was because of their third quarter earnings report, which was in deficit. It was like in loss. And the reason to that was, I don't think it was in loss, but there was a big decrease. Anyways, there was a big decrease in sales. I didn't read the full report because I wasn't even in position, but I heard that it was because the costs of debuting and preparing for a comeback for certain groups were weighed in. That's why those costs offset a lot of profits. So it wasn't as strong as before, like on a year-on-year basis. G-Friend was sacrificed in my opinion. Yeah, there have been a lot of idols that came on radio shows. I even remember one recently. Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but it was a girl group member that came out and just said they got shelved because this other group was doing good. And the company actually came to them and said like, "Oh, quite honestly, we don't have the resources to support you right now." So I heard the member put that into account and decided to end her contract with the company and move to another one. So incidents like that happen. So there are infinite scenarios. Who knew that we would even have had this whole feud for a year? Nobody expected this for NewJeans in their prime to suddenly, out of the blue, blow their whole career, right? So human beings are unpredictable, and everything is unpredictable. That's what makes entertainment stocks so volatile and dangerous. So a lot of people around me were giving me frights, scares when I went all into Hybe, saying like, "Oh, what if there's like a BTS dating scandal that happens, or something like Suga's drunk driving scandal that happens again before the concerts." And they were like, "Oh, it's gonna plummet then." So you never know what happens. Let's all just be grateful that Minijin decided to be a producer instead of starting a cult. She would have been a deadly good at it. Late to this chat, still no formal announcement of the three oldest coming back. They are questionable and contribute to the company's and band's comeback. Actually, a lot of people in the Korean communities say that other than the fact that Haein's father was a decisive factor of convincing her to come back, and the two members being one of the the younger side of NewJeans and their futures ahead of them and their potential to be too big to like go through like all this shit. So like people get why the two members decided to go back because of those kind of factors. And they also get like to being the devil's advocate on why Minji, Hani, and Daniel. I don't see a lot of talk about Daniel, but a lot of people on the Korean community side say, "Oh, I get why Minji and Hani were stubborn until the end because they're basically like the main members of NewJeans." Many people might argue like they all have equal shares in the group. I agree too because I think each and every one of them are lovely and they're unique and they're iconic. But as all groups do, some certain members get more spotlight than the others, like Wonyoung from IVE, Eugene from IVE, Karina from aespa. Each group has their own, like GD from Big Bang, right? So a lot of Korean comments were saying, "Oh yeah, of course it's going to be Minji and Hani that are being stubborn until the end because they know their own worth and value, and they can leverage it with the negotiations." So a lot of people were talking about that. I would say heading is pretty strong too. I would say the big three in New Jeans. My personal picks would be Minji, Hani, and heading. Actually, in my order, it would be Minji, heading, and Hani. They were like the most popular ones amongst New Jeans, in my personal opinion. So a lot of people were saying, yeah, they definitely be hard to negotiate and crack because they know they're like a big part of the group. What do you feel about that? I feel like those two contribute to most of the music in terms of songwriting and vocals. Honey? I don't know about Minji though, but Minji's visual is out of this world though. Like, yeah. Hani and Daniel seem to be more popular internationally. Hani was very, very popular because she was very cute. And she's also Vietnamese, so she had a very big international audience as well. Danielle as well. But weirdly enough, I don't think there was a big fandom in Korea for Danielle. Maybe internationally because most of them speak good English, right? Hani, Danielle, Minji speaks good English as well. Everyone's sources trust me, bro. Exactly. Hmm. There was this really good theory I saw on the internet that made total sense. Hmm. What was it? So the two came first. The other three came later because there was this really good theory, but I forgot. Yeah, so it's quite ironic that Minji and Hani, which were probably one of the most loved members, are now unarguably the most hated ones. Because Minji, with her 이해되시겠어요? That line with the journalist. The journalist actually came out recently with an article saying like he or she didn't want them to be hurt, and he or she feels bad that his question led to a hate moment and meme for Minji, and now she's hated so much because of that. Um, yeah, and Hani because of definitely her hearing and the apology. What do you call it? The ignore gate thing. Minji kalguksu, yeah, but that's just a little thing. The haters are just latching on to. But yeah, that's about it for New Jeans. Those are some scenarios that might happen. Uh, if you came late and caught the scenarios late, please write your theories down in the comment section. I would love to read some of. Actually, I would love to hear some theories about why you think it was in turns. Like two members came first and three members came later. It was not unilateral or there was a unified front. What do you think was the disconnect or the delayed response in that? I would love to hear your theories. I saw a really good one on the internet, but I just forgot. So, yeah, would love to hear them in the chat. But in the meantime, going to Hive again. I just want to put this out. Like, there's no news about this, but if you haven't heard or listened to or watched Cortis up till now, like me, I'm super late to the party. I'm super, super late. But they are. I'll just say this. I'm betting big on them. I can see them being like the next big thing of K-pop. They are going to be huge. They're probably huge already, but I think they're going to be, yeah, the next big, big group in Hybe. Because their songs are so lit. It's crazy good. Super catchy. Diverse. And them performing, it's 100% live. And I saw like their videos, their performance with like this live studio setting. So many ad libs. And they seem like they genuinely enjoy their stages. And they're self-produced. Also, one big factor, they are definitely K-pop because there's a lot of Korean lyrics. A lot of Korean lyrics, and the Korean rap lyrics go hard. I'm telling you. But at the same time, a lot of it is English, so the international audience can definitely follow along. So the virality is there too. And their vibe is just like, they're idols, but they seem like a more free, young, wild, and free kind of idol. Artistic too. So their music, I did a whole like listening party by myself yesterday on their album. I did a full album listen when I was walking my way to McDonald's. I was dang impressed. I was super super impressed. Oh shit. Yeah, like copyright strike. But how do I go to the album here? Like this grandpa fiddling with his phone trying to find out how to go to the album. Yeah, so from Go to What You Want, Fashion, of course these three hit like crazy, and then I also like Joyride, Lullaby. It's literally like a masterpiece. Go check it out. Color Outside the Lines. These songs are so good. They're all bangers. Fashion is a banger too. Like the one I was. Yeah, I can't let you listen that much because it's gonna get copy strike. But everyone knows Go, right? New shit. And then What You Want's also good too. The iPhone ad. Yeah, so good, so good. Dang. Anyways, Cordis is the next big thing. I'm calling it. I don't think it's like a super rare call or anything. I just want to call it uh, for the sake of my own ego. Okay, so Yeah, like they're gonna be huge. I see like this 33-year-old grandpa here in his own room is just calling it. It's very hard to impress a 33-year-old grandpa who has been detached from K-pop for a while and has just been casual listening to probably just aespa, and that's about it. Waiting for BTS and Big Bang. But this new rookie group, probably like, how old are they? 18, 19-ish, something like that. These teenagers impressing this 33-year-old grandpa is something. Yeah, I'm super impressed. And the moment I heard their full album and saw their performances, I'm like, I'm doubling down on Hybe. You know that 10K I earned the other day for from NewJeans? I'm putting all that in on Hybe again. So refreshing and new. I know, right? Breath of fresh air, exactly. You need Cordis to pump cause of Hype stuff. No, no. Cordis pumps and the Hype stock comes after. They're like half your age, I know, right? Yeah. Joyride is your favorite? Cordis songs are so catchy. Oh, there's not even a fandom name yet? Cokers? Okay. I was at the Coon Festival in New York like 3 weeks ago, and Cordis was there. Punk PD sent them as like a celebratory gift. Um, and the line was just huge. It was crazy. So many people came to just see Cordis. How do you pronounce their group name though? Is it Cortis? Do you pronounce it Cordis, like a silent T, or is it a Cortis? Cortis or Cordis? In Korean, it's Kortis. Hey, Dolly Baby, thank you for the $10. Cordis is so talented. Pizza. Yes. They write their own songs. Amazing. They're the bomb. Mm-hmm. Totally agree. Now that you said it, it's probably not gonna happen. No, no, no. I didn't jinx it. I'm usually pretty. Yeah, I have a high chance like of seeing through things. Yeah. I'm usually on the money a lot of times, contrary to someone else that's been by my side for more than 8 years, and he's made a lot of calls that have aged like not wine, but fungus. Cortis? You say Cortis? Okay, not Cordis. Cortis like tortoise. Wait, those are different. Yes, reinvest in Hive long haul cause of Cortis. Yeah, because BTS and Cortis together, I think they're invincible. For sure. And Cat's Eye also. But I'm playing the long game for Hive. So once this correction is finished and the market stabilizes, it's not going to be as volatile, so I can do my mind control. So I'm just going to put all my stuff in Hive and just ride the wave, ride the tide. Sour milk. Okay, aged like sour milk, exactly. Oh yeah, I saw them dancing with the newscaster as well. Calling him out. Mm-mm. There's another reactor who thinks the same of you. Yeah, I need to make a reaction to their music, a full listening party. For sure. I'm gonna make some reels about it too. Actually, I filmed something yesterday. Because it was so good, I just had to film me in the moment. Martin is a really great, good producer, and James with the choreography. Yeah, I need to get to know them now. It's been such a long time, that uh, it's been such a long time since I've ever gotten this urge to actually look up a K-pop group and each of their members on like Wikipedia or K-pop wiki and get to know like their names and what they're good at, their past and performances, especially for a boy group. We're not even talking about aespa here. It's a boy group, and a 33-year-old grandpa is interested. Yeah, but Cortis is the future, guys. Give them 3 years. I think they'll be big as. I don't want to trigger any fandoms, but just to, as a mention of honor, in respectful terms, I think they'll be on par with AT's Stray Kids level for sure. Give them 3 years. I think All Day Project will be Cortis's main rival. All Day Project seems to have a big fandom in Korea, but not internationally, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But I know a lot of people in Korea that like All Day Project. But internationally, because like Tarzan started out with those what was it? Was it the dreads? I think yeah, they started off with a negative point there. Can Cordis reach TXT level though? Oh yes, respectfully, yes, I would definitely say. I think respectfully they will surpass a lot of their Sonbae groups in Hybe internally. All Day Project is struggling internationally. Yeah, that's my observation too. All Day Project has Samsung money. That's true. They have the Shinsegae money with Annie. Yeah, so good days ahead of Cordis, hopefully. Okay, it's been 2 hours and 16 minutes so far. I have some more news ready for you guys, but maybe I won't be able to cover all of this. Or maybe let's just skim through. Yeah, real quick. Okay, so after school's Nana confirms armed intruder at her home with her mother. Suspect arrested after a struggle. This is crazy. So, to get this straight, a robber, an intruder came to her house, and there was an actual physical struggle in a fight, and he was armed, and she and her mother fought against him, and apparently her mother got very injured, and she got kind of injured too, and they're both hospitalized at the moment. But at the end of the day, Nana won. Like, yeah, and the police caught this person. So this is crazy. She's really like thinny too. And assuming that the intruder was a male and was armed, the fact that they caught him after a battle is remarkable. That's insane, right? Yeah, so right now I think they're recovering in the hospital. Yeah, they actually like overpowered him and called the police. But yes, they are at in the hospital right now, and apparently the injury on her mother's side is very severe. So she was unconscious at one point. It happened yesterday night after midnight. Yep. So Nana also suffered physical damage. And yeah, the investigation is going on right now. And the police will reveal more information when everything stabilizes. Yep, praying for Nana's mom. Proud and courageous women. I would freeze. Like even as a male, like imagining a dude here with a ski mask, with a knife or a weapon or something that's lurking in my house. The moment I see that, I think my instincts would all like freeze up, and I wouldn't be able to respond or anything at the moment. Yeah. I heard she's a fourth degree black belt. To be honest, that means nothing. Yeah, that means nothing. I have a black belt too. Oh, like half of Koreans have black belts. As, if you're not like, who is that? Ronda Rousey or what's her name? If you're not like a women MMA fighter, world champion, if if a man that's physically heavier and bigger than you intrudes into your house, and if you're not like a trained jiu-jitsu master or MMA champion, the the, the weight class and the just the physical power itself, it's just super difficult for a woman to overpower a man, especially if they have a weapon too. Yeah, and especially Nana, like if you look at her physique, she's like super skinny, like model type. Fight, flight, freeze, or fight. No one knows until they are in a situation like that. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I would honestly, first thing is probably run into my room, lock the door, and then start thinking. And then start thinking, oh fuck, what should I do? What should I do? Grab a scissor, or like what should I do? You know, call the police first. Like, what? Yeah, like I don't know what I would do. I would the first thing is definitely run into my room, lock the door, buy some time. I would definitely do that. I wouldn't like instantly hurl myself and body him or something. Lock the door, probably grab a knife and threaten him, like shout at him, saying like I'm calling the police, and actually look for my phone and actually call the police in the meantime, and like tell them like there's an intruder in my house, and hoping that that would ward off the guy. But if he's persistent and tries to crack open the door and stuff, then I would have to rely on force. But the tricky thing is in Korea, I know where like in the US, if there's like a intruder, you're allowed in some states, I think, to self defend yourself using like firearms or with whatever weapon, and you can actually shoot the person. But in Korea, it's more complicated than that because like self defense isn't a magical thing here. It doesn't make all your problems go away. So even when you're doing self defense, if it's if the degree of self defense is too severe, then you could also get a sentence in court too. There are a lot of cases like that. So for instance, in the name of self defense, if I held this knife and I stabbed him in the neck like that and it caused him to die, then that would be seen as aggressive self defense and I would be charged as murder. That would be what happens. And there are actual cases like that. If you make him like crippled, or if you like break his bones or like his neck and leave him disabled or something, then that would also be charged. So it's kind of complicated over here. There is this very famous case where this law student was getting ready for the bar, and there was like this huge law book, right? It's like this big, and once the intruder was inside, I think it was a she, or maybe he grabbed the law book right in front of him. It's like this thick, and actually thumped him in the head. I think it caused that person to like become unconscious or even die, and that person was charged of murder or attempt of murder. So yeah, you got to be careful over here. You probably need to like, I don't know, capture the person, or I don't know. It's so weird. I know, right? Like who thinks, how can you go easy on the attacker? Carry your pepper spray for these situations. Okay, put the scissor down now, David. I'm Chucky. Ah. Yeah, find a weapon. I have that heat. I live in the South. We love our pew pew. So, like when I was very short-sighted, like, when I was in my own well, back then, like maybe 3 years ago, I really didn't understand a bit on why America loves its guns. And I was like, oh, it's all because of the lobbying of the IR, what is it? Rifle, whatever, IRA. Um, and I was like, yeah, like if you look at other countries all around the world, they don't have guns and the crime is well controlled and it's lower than the States and blah 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 blah. So why not just like ban all of them and collect all of the guns out there and wouldn't be any mass school shootings. And I still like one part of me, and I don't have any say in it at the end of the day, but one part of me still advocates that side principle wise. But then I realized talking to a lot of other Americans that have different viewpoints, and I tried to get into their shoes as well, especially during my trip on in Texas. I met a lot of local folks that live in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, how do you feel safe over here? Like, what if a guy just lands up your drive in the middle of the night and you don't have anybody around? Like, there's literally just cornfields and shit. Like, there's like cattle. Like, how do you feel safe? And these people are like, that's why we have our guns. It's our last resort. And if we don't have them, we're just all all cooked. So I was like, oh, like being there and actually experiencing and seeing that with my own eyes, I was like, okay, now I understand. And then there's also that tradition about like hunting and it goes on and the history and also like some people were talking about whether if the government or the federal government is like nowadays in political times like this when like there's a national guard pressing upon you and stuff like in the history of the Civil War and blah 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 like your ability to go against certain authorities. So I saw like different sides of the spectrum, and I'm not gonna jump into the political discussion, but just what I'm saying is like I got a taste of both sides, and I understand why there's such a big debate about it now. It's not that I'm taking one side over another, because I'm Korean, I don't have any say in it at the end, but it's just like, oh, back then I was just like very just restricted with my own thoughts being a Korean. Like, why do you have guns? Like, it's dangerous for everybody. There's so many school shootings. So, I mean, if you need guns, like, just regulate it and register, make the registration super hard and blah, 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 and all that. But yeah, man, this went into a tangent, but yeah, I saw a lot of stuff. And in terms of self-defense as well too, like because the landmass is so high and like the police force big and the police force can't cover all those sides. You gotta one man for himself, right? America is crazy to be honest. NRA, yeah, National Rifle Association, right? Uh, howdy. That's why over here you always carry my boy. There's 1.5 to 1.79 pew pews per American. We also like to hunt and we have wildlife that will come to your door. Yeah. The Americans just love our guns. It's in the Constitution, yo. Yeah. Just to TVs. Why not just ban buying guns? I know, right? That's how I used to think, but in reality, it's just yeah. And the amount that's already like widespread out there, it realistically it'd be unrealistic to collect all of those. Yeah, but I think I don't know, but my uneducated opinion is like at this point, the tipping point has already kind of tilted too much for an idealistic approach to be made about like gun control and stuff. So I guess better regulation. But yeah, thankfully we don't have that kind of stuff over here. So, all right, let's go to the next news. Let me just skip some stuff. Oh, this is crazy. Related to one of the topics we talked about today. Mass cheating scandal at Yonsei ignites call for clearer AI rules on campus. The incident occurred in the third year online course with around 600 students. And it was a midterm exam, which was conducted online. Students were instructed to record their computer screens, hands, and faces throughout the exam to prevent cheating. Despite such measures, the professor overseeing the course announced that a large number of cheating cases were detected, with some examinees bypassing the monitoring system by manipulating camera angles or capturing screenshots of the test and pasting them to ChatGPT. Behavior later flagged as suspicious in a comprehensive video audit conducted after the exam. So this is crazy if you think about it. Like the professor knows everybody does their homework and exam via ChatGPT. Korea is like per capita, we have the most paid users of ChatGPT in the world after the US. So yeah, everybody's using. Even if it's not ChatGPT, we use Gemini, we use Grok, we use Perplexity, all these stuff here, and definitely the students are using it. And it's like a battle of AI against each other. Professors making like like monitoring systems to make them take footages to film their faces, hands, and computer screens, like 3FA, uh, three-factor authentication processes to avoid them from using ChatGPT and AI. But how did these students bypass that? And also, when the professor was going through their answer sheets, he probably used an AI system to filter out the AI generated ones too, right? Like the most obvious ones, if you use ChatGPT, I don't know why, but it uses M dashes so much. Like every time I use ChatGPT, it uses M dashes, and people who used to use M dashes, they're so angry because whenever they use M dashes in their natural handwriting or letters, it sounds like they use ChatGPT, right? So even like this, I wouldn't be surprised if this article is AI generated as well because there's an M dash over here, right? But it's a shame, but it's so funny. It's so funny. The AI detection systems run on AI, so it's a battle against AI. Like who who can bypass the AI wall and use AI better? What are M dashes? This. The long dashes you see. You see this? So if you generate anything on ChatGPT, it always includes M dashes for some reason. So let me go to ChatGPT and show you. So, what should I say? Write a give me the wait, why do Americans like guns so much? Write me an essay about it. Like, see, like I asked this and it generates the response, right? And there will always be an M dash. Oh wow, I'm actually surprised that there's no M dashes here. What? Wait, what? This is like the first time there's not an M dash. What? Since when did you not use M dashes, ChatGPT? Oh, it's because oh yeah, I actually recently updated my default setting as don't use M dashes. See, I updated my default setting now. Don't use M dashes anymore. So now it's complying. But yeah, It usually uses M dashes. It's evolving. It's learning. I know, right? So apparently, this professor said that he would flunk all the students who used ChatGPT, and he gave them a chance to turn themselves in. And if they turned themselves in, they would get like a little minus on their scores and a opportunity to redo the stuff. But a lot of students chose to take the chances as well, and I haven't heard a follow up since then. But this is so funny. Yeah, we'll have Terminator soon. I know, right? We already have generative AI. We already have the humanoid bots, the meta glasses. So combine all them together, we already have a Terminator. Skynet. The problem with the M dash is that academics regularly use them, and standardized testing prep teaches you how to write that way. Yeah, right? Uh, yeah, nowadays I actually disabled my paid paid service for ChatGPT because I felt like I don't need it anymore because I just go through, like, if I use all my credits or my coins on ChatGPT for the day, I just move it to Gemini and use Gemini for a while. And then once I'm done with Gemini too, it doesn't work. I go to Grok and then use Grok for a while. And then it's an endless loop. I go to Perplexity at the end, and they're Korean party ones as well too. So I just don't use the paid version anymore. So I think the AI bubble might pop because there's so many competitors now. I don't know how many students got caught, but probably a lot. Yeah. Now there are students who are getting accused of AI but did not use AI. Uh, same. Yeah, see, like people aren't paying, so I guess yeah, a lot of people saying the AI bubble is going to pop soon because Sam Altman is getting all this investment from all these big tech companies and the banking, big banks, but he's using it all to get these data centers and promising that, everyone is going to be using the paid services ChatGPT in the future. But like if you actually follow the consumer usage right now, people are like me. They're hopping through different systems. So people are like, where? How are you going to generate revenue? And we saw an ounce of desperateness by ChatGPT launching the adult version now, so you can make like adult content on ChatGPT. So that's a sign that not as much people are using the paid service anymore. I don't know. Yep, sounds like we need to go back to handwritten assessments. So my solution would be uh make a metal detector in the front of a test room, like make a dedicated test room, classroom, metal detectors on the front gate. So no phones, no digital anything in the classroom. And just to be safe, before we proceed with the test, shoot an EMP. So if anybody snuck in a gadget, then it would be disabled. And then proceed with the test. That's the only way at this point. Time lengthy handwritten essays in a classroom setting should be the solution. But there's an anti-movement against this as well too, because I've recently been to a conference and there was this very forward thinking, maybe it's forward, maybe it's not, debatable, but there was this entrepreneur that was arguing that the adoption of ChatGPT and AI is inevitable. It's the speed and adoption rate is going to surpass our regulations anyways. So you can't stop people from using AI, just like the internet. So the way is not to regulate and suppress it, but actually foster it and actually make people fight on the same level, same playing field of everyone using AI. So it should be a fight between AI drivers, not like people trying to compete with AI. So he's like, if AI is out there in the world and we can get all the access of information anyways, why not we make the competition of a competition on how well we use the AI? I guess he has a point, but at the end of the day, I think human beings need the ability to have critical thinking and decision making, and yeah, that should be the basis before we use AI, right? Nicole, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. And if you are enjoying this live stream so far, I would appreciate if you could support me on paypal.me/Korean Pizza Club. I am not AI. I have 5 and 10 fingers that perfectly are wiggly, and yeah. Another problem with AI, I think it's mostly fixed, but early day problems with AI generated photos was they couldn't generate fingers properly. So people had like 7 fingers or missing fingers or something. But nowadays the quality of AI is getting creepy as hell. Like I'm a big anime fan, and I'm loving the usage of AI in this way. Like as a big anime fan, there are so many like realized anime adaptations with the usage of AI, and it's just so cool to see that. Uh, let's see. So recently I saw Chainsaw Man. Oh my god, Chainsaw Man. That's so good. The Reze, how do you pronounce it in English? Reze or Reze. In Korean it's Reje. But I fell in love with her. I never thought I could fall in love with a 2D character, but I finally did. I broke the fourth wall, and now like I'm in love with a 2D character. But yeah, this is the character herself in 2D. But if you haven't watched a Chainsaw Man movie, like it's a freaking masterpiece. I think it's the movie of the year. It's so good. I was left like crying after watching it. But like these AI videos that make the real adaptations of the the animation in these AI forms, they're getting so good that I can't even really differentiate if they're AI or not at this point. There are some videos that I really can't, and they're so good, and I'm loving it. Oh my God, this is her. Yeah. So guys, I want to marry her now, but oh wow, this is a Korean casting of Chainsaw Man. Wow. Oh wow. See, I love this kind of thing. Okay, this might have like deep fake problems and stuff, but still, it's just very entertaining to watch, right? Oh, Winter as Reje? Oh my gosh. Oh wow, this is actually pretty accurate. Okay, my mom's here. I need to shut the door. But oh wow, I am mind blown. Oh, okay. Wow. Let me just be quiet for a bit until my mom goes in. Oh my gosh, this is so good. The AI videos are scary. Yeah. But anyways, we need more than 2 hours, I know, right? Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. Last news before you move on. So, this drama is actually the biggest hit right now in Korea. A lot of my friends are watching it, and they're giving so many compliments about it, saying that it's hyper realistic. It really shows you how the corporate scene and the life of a middle-aged man and everyone else in the corporate scene is like in Korea. The struggles of buying a house, how you're like replaceable, and how it's like dehumanizing and all of that. Like, so this drama called The Dream Life of Mr. Kim is being super popular nowadays. and it's the old-fashioned yet sympathetic protagonist. Um, and he wants to join the executive ranks of a major company, but it apparently related to this news, the chances of becoming a corporate executive in Korea drop below 1%. So it's not easy. It's really not easy. But it's a really great drama. I've seen like snippets of it and it's already very entertaining. So Ultimate Korean Dad Story. I recommend you go checking it out. So, the hit Korean drama The Dream Life of Mr. Kim paints the perfect picture of both a typical Korean dad and a classic Korean big company manager. Based on a novel and webtoon, it doesn't rely on a star-studded cast. Instead, it wins hearts through pure relatability and real-life storytelling. So the vibes I'm getting is Miseng, if you've watched Miseng before. It's about like corporate life. Im Siwan was the lead over there, and it was a legendary drama. It compared life with Go and corporate life over there, the struggles of it. It was very kind of sad and depressing, but cheerful at the same time. I think this is one like that, but it's getting so many compliments from my friends and people. The ratings are pretty good too. Mr. Kim owns his own apartment in Seoul, one of the ultimate symbols of success in Korea, and works as a sales manager at a big corporation. He's proud of what he's achieved, maybe even a little too proud sometimes. At home, he quietly worries about his kids and wives, and wife. At work, he's the loyal company man, but from his employees' perspective, he's a tough boss that they love to escape from. And to his family, he can feel like a stubborn old school dad who really doesn't listen. Still, there's something about him that feels familiar, like our own team leader, our own dad. Life starts to hit hard. He faces demotion or restructuring at work, struggling to connect with his son and a family together, and blah, 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 blah. So he gets transferred to the factory. So, yeah, he represents a lot of fathers out there drinking soju. So, yeah, go check out The Dream Life of Mr. Kim. And actually, before we go on, I am going to do, no matter what, I actually booked a studio today for the watch party of Mr. Kim and his life. I'm gonna do a watch party for the drama. So all you have to do is go to Patreon at patreon.com/koreanpizzaclub and join the $5 tier, and you will be able to get access to all my watch parties, including the Dream Life of Mr. Kim, which I'm going to start watching today. I'm actually going to watch up till episode 3. So far, we're at episode 7, and it goes up to episode 12, I think. So we have a good month ahead of us. So yeah, if you want to watch the Dream Life of Mr. Kim with me, come over to Patreon over here. I upload a lot of stuff other than that too, like my reviews, my exclusive podcasts, my a little personal stories. And my past watch party was wall to wall. This was about like Korean housing markets and like people speculating. There was S-Line watch party, so you can get access to all of these as well too. So yeah, only for $5. It's the best way to support me. So go check it out. I'll be uploading the 3 episodes of The Dream Life of Mr. Kim with subtitles, with me in the bottom of the screen, like this.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to the S-Line.
Yeah, I do commentary in between and let you guys know what the context is. So yes, please join Patreon if you would like to support me over there. So let me just put a link in the chat so that you can see. And I have some super chats to read, right? There you go. So Lynn says, I don't pay for ChatGPT either. Haha, yeah. Thank you for the $10. Same. I think everybody's found that loophole now, and Sam is in deep trouble now, I would say. He has to break through this wave of free usage of AI models now. Broccoli, thank you for the super chat, which is up there. Did I miss it? Is it still up there? Oh, there you go. A genie grants you a night in a love motel with either NewJeans Haerin or Hain. Which one are you choosing? A. Hey, this is a trap question, I know. Hey, don't do this kind of stuff. They're both underage, I think. I think they are both underage. No, I am not answering. Even if they were overage, I would not answer that. Cause that I'm a 33-year-old grandpa. And nope, nope. I'm sorry. Thank you for the $10. Regardless, I cannot. I'm like ChatGPT over here. I cannot answer that question. Yeah, I cannot. So, me being AI, I cannot answer that. Yeah. Anyways, you're on episode 3 of that drama. How are you liking it, Mags? Hmm? How are you liking it? It's a good show, Kelly? Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, sorry, didn't know they were underage. Assumed they were over 18. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Stuff like that can happen. Um, but anyways, I cannot answer your question. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you have another question, since you gave me a super chat, please leave it in the chat. A more appropriate one, then I'll be able to answer it, okay? Is this drama in Netflix? I think so. It should be. I haven't been using Netflix for a while too. I can't even log in because I don't even have an ID. I think it is. It probably is. Nowadays, all the K dramas are on Netflix. The good ones. Yes, it is. It is on Netflix. So yeah, but if you want to watch it with me, it's probably going to be more fun. So please join me on Patreon and also support my channel and have some fun, right? All good, all good. All right, let me just wait for maybe Broccoli's comments in just like 1 more minute, and I will move on to record another Patreon exclusive podcast and also go and do my watch party. Yes. There are some K-dramas on Amazon as well. Amazon Prime is not supported in Korea. Yeah. It's okay so far. Okay. All right. Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah, yesterday there was a huge fireworks festival in Busan. It was crazy. Okay, so I think that is it for today. Oh, YouTube has the last super chat highlighted like a thumbnail for the show. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Yeah, I need to stall some more time so that does not become the thumbnail. No. So, Broccoli, if you don't have any comment or question, I will end the stream in 1 minute. 1 minute countdown starting now. Yeah. Okay. Lol. Okay, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And just to let you guys know, I do radio on Arirang Radio, the K-pop channel, every Monday, 7 p.m. KST. Similar to these live streams, I just talk for an hour about like Korean stuff, society. So if you want that, mark your calendars and time so you can tune in. Thank you, Char W. Basically me, night. Thank you, Dolly Baby. Stay safe, everybody. Good night from Indiana. Good night from Seoul. Hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. All right, so I think that's about it. See you guys. See you on Patreon. And yeah, let's enjoy the watch party together. All right. Bye bye. 7 p.m. KST on Arirang YouTube. 7 p.m. It's called the K Culture. What was it? Culture Inc. That's the program name. Culture Inc. And I'm on the K Trend Monitoring Office. So, bye. Bye, Canada. Okay, I'm trying to make this as a thumbnail before I go. Hopefully, becomes a thumbnail. All right.